welcome to Real WW Talk. I'm Erin.
I'm Candace.
And I'm Rikki.
Ladies, another week.
Another week
of doing it. Let's see, Rikki, you went back to school.
Yes.
You're still standing. You're still blinking.
I mean, wait until the first day the kids come and really see if I'm still standing, because we're just in the preparation.
It sounds like it's even debatable right now, to be honest.
I'm definitely wiped, getting used to the full day again, and just all the emotional preparation that goes into it, and the physical preparation. So it's gonna be a long week.
But you've got this. You totally got this. You've been doing it year after year.
You got it.
Thank you.
I know. We heard from, I'm trying to see if I wrote, hold on. Talk for a couple seconds and let me search for this comment, because it was from another, it's from a teacher.
Yeah, I was just wondering how it was working, because I know that you had planned some of your lunches and things, and being that you were getting back into the routine, how's that been going?
Good. I decided to go the simple route, and one of the simple things was, I think I shared last time, I got yogurt or different things from Costco. So it's been really nice to not have to worry about heating anything up in the morning. Just grab it and go. And then I've been doing simple, prepared lunches for now too. And it's been going really well. Like, they do provide lunch a few days during this initial back to school week. The PTA does things, excuse me. But overall, I feel very prepared, and it's nice to be back into the routine. So I'm very grateful.
Good.
Y'all, I can't find it, but one of our teachers left an awesome post in the group. I don't know if you saw it. She was showing her meal prep. I mean, she had it down. It was, saying have a great week to everybody for their first, especially for teachers, first week. But she was set up for success. I mean, she had the whole 9 yards, all of her snacks, all the things that we talked about last week, Rikki, and the things that you always talk about, where the pitfalls can be. She had all of her snacks planned. She had all of her treats planned. Something is going to have to come out of left field to tackle her, to get her off plan. It's beautiful.
I'm sure that really helps, because if you go in unprepared, that you'll eat everything inside. I will say it helps that the candy bars in the machine are now $2.
Oh,
whoa.
So I will not be spending $2 on a candy bar.
No.
So. Did you find a Candice?
Yeah, Nikki Hex.
Nikki
said that we motivated her to do some back to school meal prep. She had her overnight oats together, chicken veggie stir fry, her watermelon, sliced bell peppers, hard boiled eggs, all 0 points. And she also made garlic hummus, guacamole chip cups, and lentil soup for 2 points. And she said, I'm ready. Got my back to work outfit set, my bags packed, dishes and laundry running. The dog was taken on a long walk, and now napping. Now just to sit back and hydrate. Happy back to school educators. That is,
you see what I'm talking about?
Amazing.
Come prep for me. I'm not even going back to school, but I need that. Just all those things together. That is fantastic.
Yes,
I know. Candace, how was your week?
My week was great. I was coming off of the birthday celebration and getting, used to life at 40, and just, it's so hard, isn't it? It was like, I got on the Peloton, and it now has changed my age bracket. And it's it'll say, because it'll say Candace in her 30s who lives in Maryland. It said Candace 40s, Maryland. And who are they talking up? That's me. That is who I am. So no, but it was a good week. I lost 3.2 pounds. And I think because we've been doing the Monday weigh-in, because it was the day after my birthday, that's why it wasn't as much last week, even though I still had a maintain. So I was proud of that, because it shows that the body eventually catches up, and that this whole menopausal thing isn't really stopping me from weight loss now. So I'm happy to see that I am making that headway. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, keeping up with the exercise. And I have made so many. I figured out how to make that 0 point. I have to tell you all about this. I'm probably the last one to know. but the s'mores zero sugar creamer or the syrup that you gave me to put with my espresso.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's so amazing. It's so good. And I don't know where you got it from, but like, guys, if you want one, it's really good. And it's 0 points for 2 tablespoons.
I think we got you the Tirani syrup.
Okay,
right?
sure. Mhm.
The Tirani, so you can get that at Walmart.
Oh,
They have the smaller s'mores bottles at Walmart. That one, believe it or not, I got at Home Goods. Home Goods,
TJ Maxx.
yes, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. They have usually Tirani and skinny syrups.
okay.
If you can find the skinny syrups, they have a salted caramel sauce and they have a chocolate sauce that is delightful. And I love the salted caramel sauce to mix with the Greek yogurt and some PB2. And you mix that up together and it's this peanut butter salted caramel like mousse texture thing. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, there I go again, talking y'all up and lying to my parents because I was like, yeah, they went and got me this, like, it was from the Nespresso store. It was like this special gourmet, like a syrup. I can try to find it for you. I don't know where. Walmart. Go to Home Goods.
You can order them off of Amazon. You can order Amazon or you can order them direct. And honestly, if you go direct to Tirani or Skinny Syrups, there's so many flavors. I was on Skinny Syrups the other day and they have a new maple donut syrup. And I was like, well, I just might need to.
That's going to have to be in the budget.
See, I almost sent it to the both of you and were like, you guys want to like combine an order maybe?
Let's do it.
I mean, let's do it.
What about you, Erin? How was your week?
Yeah, last week was good. I kept the streak alive. I will tell you that I had one day where I tracked in my head and didn't track it in the app purely accidentally. And then I opened the app the next day to track and it went, ma'am, save your streak. Track something yesterday. And I went, so I, pulled it all out of my head to track. I've been thinking a lot because we've talked about a couple weeks, but Jocelyn's comment within the group a couple weeks ago about how when her points reset for the day or for that week, when her points reset, that's the lowest her points ever are because she spends the rest of the week gaining points through exercise and, tracking what she eats type of thing.
Rollovers.
Yeah. All the rollovers. Exactly. So that's been sticking in my mind. Like, okay, I'm going to make sure that happens this week for myself. And I was pleasantly surprised to see the points that I got for exercising last week, which was great. And I know that makes such a difference for me going for my walk. At some point, I pick a time, whether it's I'm trying to stick to my 4 p.m., you name it. It's a game changer for me. It helps my brain so much.
But here's the big question. Are you keeping the Monday weigh-in and the Monday points reset? Because you were a little on the fence. Rikki and I were fully converted. Like, we love it. But you were like, middle child, I don't know. I don't know if I'm keeping it. So we just we're waiting to hear with bated breath, like, are you keeping Monday?
I'm still doing the points rollover on Monday. I have not made that change, but I have found, I think that Saturday weigh-in is my preferred weigh-in.
Okay.
So I did my Saturday weigh-in and I'm almost down. I think I'm down 5.5 pounds for this month.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So that makes me feel good. Yeah. I'm like, it's finally going in the direction that I want to see it like start to finally to go through. So
bravo all around to all of us.
Yay. Yeah. So I want to also celebrate some people in our group who are having some awesome success. So first off, we want to say congratulations to Ashley, Erica, and Pam, who are all brand new to WW. Yay. We're so excited for you. Welcome to the journey. And they found the podcast as they were searching for WW resources. So I love that. That's so great. Speaking of points reset day, Carol said for decades, and she highlighted decades, I was a Saturday workshop points reset day. And after listening to your podcast about changing it up, I changed mine to Monday as well. I have struggled since January and put back on 10 pounds over my goal, which isn't huge, but it is a slippery slope for me. We get that. And we totally identify with that.
Yes.
She's, well, today I got on my scale expecting to see another gain because I had ice cream on both Friday and Saturday, but I had to weigh myself twice to make sure that the scale was actually sitting flat on the ground because it showed that I was 3.2 pounds down.
Okay.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Yes. She says, I'm 90 plus days tracking. So maybe something's finally moving in the right direction. And I'm going to keep going with
Way
my
to go.
reset.
Sometimes it's just making a little change.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know.
Isn't that funny? I mean, that really is just it's a minor change, but I do think it really does affect that mental thing of that Saturday, the points, I'm going to spend all my points on a Saturday. And if you change the day, it makes you think about what you have to spend differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I'm so happy for her.
Yes.
Yay. We have an anonymous member who said, I'm starting my journey today. I've been listening to the podcast. I absolutely love them. All three of you are absolutely real and it's appreciated. Thank you. I struggle with food addiction and I wasn't sure if WW would be able to help, but after listening to the podcast, it's motivated me that I can do this too. So thank you, ladies, and I hope you all have a great week.
Aw.
Yes.
You can do hard things. You got this.
Yes.
I love it. You know, that's one of the things I think is really great about WW, especially if there is, I mean, I think all of us would agree that there's food addiction in with all of us, right? I don't think I'm speaking out of turn.
No,
on that,
absolutely.
but I'll speak for me for sure.
Yes.
That the tracking is what really helps me keep that in check, right? Because I have to be accountable to something, as well as having you ladies. I need to be accountable to you. I'm accountable to the group. So, you know, if food addiction is something that you are struggling with, come join the Real WW Talk Facebook group. You know, when you put it out there, it suddenly takes, we've talked about this before, it takes the big ick off of it, this thing that you feel like you're hiding, and it puts it into the light, and you have a community around you who can help you deal with it. And genuinely, when you invite community into those types of things, it's a game changer.
There's nothing like hearing somebody else say me too. And when you think that you're the only one. And being able to have that relatability and not feeling alone on the journey is what attracted me to WW in the first place. So, yeah.
All right. I've got one final comment, and this is from Alicia. And this is going to dovetail into what we're going to talk about today. She said, I went to an appointment with my kiddo's doc, and she said, parents are solution-based people. And sometimes kids aren't looking for solutions. So when your kiddo is having a problem, ask them, do you need comfort or do you need a solution? I think this can be applicable when it comes to food. Do I need a hunger solution or comfort? Because if it's comfort, then food is not what I'm looking for. And how many times have I said, if hunger isn't the problem, food's not the solution?
Yeah,
it's so true.
And it kind of made me think, you know, I saw that comment and I was thinking about something you said last week, Erin, when you were talking about how we're getting ready to get into a season that for you historically has kind of brought you into some things that you've struggled with mentally because it gets so overwhelming. And I was thinking about the fact that after I have completed my cancer journey and I'm now faced with scans and things that are coming up that can be very anxiety producing. And Rikki, some of the overwhelm you've talked about with starting mental health is such a big component, you know, that sometimes can be unaddressed in the discussions that we have around weight. We see it as separate, like it's food and how I'm moving. And even though we say mindset, we don't really discuss when I am in a really, really altered mental state, you know, overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, whatever. How does that impact my ability to comply with the program and to treat myself well? And as I'm anticipating that for myself, I wanted to bring it to you all for some discussion, because I know I'm going in eyes wide open that I'm going to have some weeks coming up where mentally it's going to be tough for me to focus. It's going to be tough for me to be all in. And I want to go in with a plan on how not turning, because, you know, my MO is sometimes to turn to food when that happens. Sometimes it's to completely turn away from food and not to eat. But more often it's to go towards the sweets or the things. So have you all seen that pattern for yourselves in your journey? And what do you feel you're going to do differently if you start to feel those things come up when you're trying to navigate that and the journey?
I know for me, I definitely can relate to that, especially like you just said. I mean, with the school year starting and a lot of events and a lot of rewards, it feels like based around food. It's the simplest thing someone can do is give you a Starbucks gift card or a box of chocolates or something like that. So I have to really know myself and know, you know, do I need to go put this in the lounge and give it away to somebody? Is I know if Valentine's Day or Halloween even sooner is coming up, and are people going to bring in their leftover Halloween candy? I have to kind of prepare myself mentally before going into that and know what kind of day am I having? How am I feeling? Am I stressed? Am I going to the lounge because I'm hoping that there's something, you know, on the table or somebody brought in some leftover cupcakes? And I think knowing my mental state before I go into those situations is helpful. And also, like, I think well-meaning people can also sabotage us in ways because there's so much. When you were talking, Candace, I'm thinking about the whole self-care like movement, and that's so wonderful. But I think sometimes we can confuse self-care with, you know, self-sabotage. If, you know, people saying, oh, go eat the cookie, have the slice of cake, have the, well, if I have a problem with food, for me, that could be, not that I should never have it, not that there's not a right time to track it and have it, but maybe I already had a cookie and now you're telling me, oh, go have the cake, and it's okay. You know, I have to really know myself and know what I can and cannot, or should not, or, you know, whatever words you want to use, do, because maybe that's going to be more harmful for me to make that choice.
Oh my gosh, I just love self-care.
Yeah.
And self-sabotage. Rikki, that's like light bulb moment.
Totally. Rikki, I'm so tracking with that, because for
Mhm.
other people, they might be able to, but I know for me, those are the times I actually have to practice what I would call the food sobriety. Because when I'm in that state, you know, to Alicia's point that she made, that her doctor was saying, like, okay, I want comfort and I want to see comfort, and I want comfort, and comfort immediately to me is food. That is the 100% the time when I should not be leaning into that, because I'm using food outside of what its intended purpose is. And that's such a huge trigger for me, that I've worked really hard, I think, to a place where I can say that I no longer use food immediately as a source of comfort. But that's taken me a long time to get to that space where the first thing I do is I'll go sit and I'll pray, or I'll go sit and I'll journal, or I'll go for a walk. Like, those are now, I made a mental list of, when this comes up, what am I going to turn to? I think that's just part of the, Candace, you talked about planning. For me, that's part of the planning process, is what is the plan when this happens, when it happens, because it's going to happen. So I need to have something in place for when it does.
I always think about that again when I worked in the Veterans Court, and we had our therapists on the team, and they would talk to the veterans about, you know, many of them struggled with drug addiction and things. And the question wasn't if you were going to relapse, it was when you were going to be presented with something, and how do you attack and not let it continue on a path that doesn't serve you. And one of the things for me that I always loved is community is very important to me. And that's what we were talking about with WW period, like being able to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm just letting you know mentally, I'm not well right now. I'm struggling, and I really want to do some things that don't serve me. And I just want someone to know who gets it. not from a place of you being preachy with me, but just kind of sit with me in it. And maybe I can just talk to you about it. That can be, if I trust the person, it's easier for me to do. I would count you two. I did that during the cancer journey. I may have said, guys, I just want to let you know, I'm not okay right now. Send me some scriptures or pray. I don't know, but I just want someone to be aware that this is what's going on with me, because isolation is also where decisions are made that I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm keeping it in and I'm keeping it to myself. So I think that's a big part of my rescue plan is community with people I trust.
And it takes a lot of strength to say to someone, I need help. And I love that you are saying before you're in that situation, I need help. It sounds like sometimes you were able to say in the moment, I need help, but it sounds like you also identified people prior to say, hey, this is a tough time. I may need this kind of help. I think that's why, you know, I've got a couple accountability friends at work, and I think everyone needs to have someone who knows them on that level and has that comfort with them to say, like, I may need you to, you know, just give me a look, or, you know, whatever it is across the room. The other day, shouting out Melissa, we had breakfast at school and she came over to me. She showed me her plate. She didn't need to. It was not a shameful thing, but she's like, I think this is about 10 points. Like, I'm counting this. And then I went up a little bit later and I got my plate and I walked over to her and I said, I think this is about maybe 11 or 12. And so, like, that accountability versus like me looking over my shoulder and like trying to put as many pancakes on the plate as I can. Like, there's no shame. There's no, you know, like hiding. It's just, let me get my plate. I'm excited to show it to my friend. I had my breakfast. I was satisfied. I didn't think about going back for another plate. Just moved on, you know.
Because really what you're doing in that moment, Rikki, is you're loving yourself. Right? You're showing love to yourself and you're showing love to your future self by not hiding it, by not sabotaging. You know, you're being your best friend in that moment and setting yourself up for success. And even for the rest of the day, if you would add, exaggeration, 20 of the pancakes, right? Like by 10 a.m., you're dead. You can't, like, I wouldn't be able to function if I had, you know, as many pancakes as I would want.
Right.
Versus what would be the nourishing amount, you know? You know, some other practical things just to put out there would be, you know, the WW workshops. Right. Dropping a comment over in the chat bar, like, hey, I'm looking for an accountability buddy, or over in our Real WW Talk Facebook group, which you just search Real WW Talk on Facebook, join and say, hey, I need an accountability partner. And this is who I am. And this is what I'm looking for. We've got almost 7,000 people in the group. I'm pretty sure there's somebody who's similar to you who'd be happy to join, you know, join a team with you.
And if you're nervous, you can post anonymously. If you're just like, I don't even want you to see my profile picture, you can post anonymously and people respond. That's one thing I love about our community. You'll get a response from somebody who will say, I get you, or whatever you need to hear. But you know what was another technique that, again, going back to Veterans Court, that I wondered about implementing for myself? A therapist was talking about, what do we say to ourselves while we're well? And how do we, whether it's a note that you write to yourself when you're not in that depressed state or not in that overwhelmed state, or she said a voice note, you could do that on your phone to say, hey, this is you when you're fine. And I know you because I am you. And I'm telling you, this is what we need to do. Something about you connecting with you at a different space and it not being anybody else that you could BS, you know, and say, well, no, you can't tell me what to do because you don't know how my pain, you don't know what it's like. It's like, no, actually I do, because factually I'm you. But I'm you when you're not overwhelmed. And
what if it was the voice note that you leave is, hey, you're overwhelmed right now. And this is probably what you're thinking. And this is probably the next step that you're going to take. Don't take it.
Don't take it.
Don't take it. Do me a favor. Just for the next version of us. So this is version 1.0, your version 2.0. For version 3.0. for the version of us that's coming next week, that's going to sit and regret it.
Yeah.
Let's not have any regrets.
Hey, anxious Candace, could we please not put
Right.
down the cupcake? Thanks.
Right.
I'm saying I've got to share this, and I know it's like it's on topic, but it's also not. But I just saw the episode of The Office, which is, you know, Candace's favorite show, where Michael, you know, Holly is back and he doesn't know if she's engaged or not, and he records 2 videos, one for happy Michael and one for sad Michael, and the happy one has like a piñata, and like, you know, and the sad one has like a music list of so like, and he's talking, yeah. So maybe you need to record your own Michael Scott, you know, happy or sad video for yourself. So you can talk yourself into the mood you need to be into.
My only challenge is that I would know that I recorded and be like, I'm not listening to it. I already know what she said. I don't want to hear from her. So, but I think that it's those things of disrupting the thought, disrupting the pattern.
Yeah.
Especially when we can anticipate that we feel it coming. Mm-hmm. And it's not, we say it's not a surprise. Mm-hmm. I know this. This is what I think is going to happen. And this is how I need to respond. I must meal prep. I must drink my water. Erin, I got to go for my walk because I know it's coming. And I know that I need all of my reinforcements around me to help me get through this period. Because as soon as it comes, I do know that it leaves. And I want to leave it possibly better than I was before it came, because I recognized it and I planned for it. I don't know if I've ever had that experience to be able to say, I recognized it and I changed course.
Yeah. It wouldn't be awesome to be able to have that experience. To say that. You know, I recognize for me, there are 2 things that I do. I stop going for my walks and I stop eating breakfast. There's some kind of like this weird connection for me when I get into that space. I bypass breakfast, and a lot of times I don't eat until lunchtime. And it's not always necessarily, it's not that it's bad food, but it's just really scattershot, which then leads me after maybe 2 or 3 days of doing that I'm super hungry and that I'm like eating everything. So everything is this. And meanwhile, so internally, for those on the podcast, I'm waving my hand like up and down, right? Internally, I'm up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's just my mental state at that moment. But then when I start treating my food like that, everything becomes up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't have anything that is steady. And so I know going into, I recognize this about myself, and I will go through this again. There's no question about this. That seems to be part of my cyclical year. That's what happens. And I want to commit this time around to it, recognizing those things and committing to having breakfast ready to go, that I can eat some kind of breakfast, and committing to the walking. I mean, I think that's the important thing about doing this right now. I'm getting that foundation rebuilt again, but I just have to commit to it. And I give you guys permission to ask me if I'm eating breakfast and if I'm walking. Because the reality is, walking, just that exercise alone, helps stabilize blood sugars, right? It helps with the mental health aspects. And if I'm already having struggly mental health, well, why wouldn't I do this to help it? You know, but you get in that thing and you can't see it sometimes. And you need someone else just to gently, lovingly nudge you towards what you can't see.
But I love that you know what those things are that you have to look out for. Like, hey, I'm not doing breakfast. I haven't eaten breakfast. For me, it's when I start to get really snacky after lunch. If I find myself stop tracking my points, I know it's no good. There's a reason, because when I feel like I'm on it, I'm tracking.
Yes.
When I run from the tracker, danger.
Yes.
Almost always, because there's no reason that I can't track it.
Because you're hiding from accountability.
That's what I don't want to see it. And it's usually when I have gone over the points, which we talked about. I know intellectually all the things we said 2 weeks ago, but that's still hard. So I have to push past it. So you have permission to say, hey, I want to see your tracker today. Right now.
Right now. Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
It's 3 a.m. Where is it?
I think for me, it's probably the activity because it's been a long time since I've been in a real like month long or something like that consistent workout. But it's kind of like you said, Erin, with the waves, where it's like, okay, 3 days here, 2 days here, 4 days here, 5 days here, 2 days here. So for me, that pattern hasn't been consistent in a while, but I know when it is that I really see success, and I've had a great summer, and I feel like part of that is because I may not have walked every day, but I walked one day and I got on the bike the next day and I walked the next. I did something every day, and I think the pattern of doing something consistently throughout the week is really what helps me to have a well-rounded Weight Watchers life as far as like the tracking, all of that, the drinking water, all that comes along with it when I'm working out.
Yeah. Am I hearing a tracking accountability or an exercise accountability challenge?
Like a step bet? Sorry.
Rikki is like, I mean, not that.
I didn't mean that one.
I mean, step bet in addition to, I would love to have a tracker streak on my Peloton too,
I'm hearing a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Erin, is that what you were saying? Is that what you hear? Is that?
I mean, that's what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is
Christy,
exercise accountability challenge of some sort.
Okay.
Now, I want to keep in mind for some people, because there are some people in the group who maybe struggle with exercise from the perspective that over exercise.
Yeah.
And so I want to just keep in mind as we say this, obviously we have tracking because that is the crux of the WW program. And you can do the WW program without exercise, but we know from the mental health stuff that just makes us feel better. So you pick what your days are, how many days, what works for you, but making the commitment to whatever that may be.
Yeah, I like
what
it.
What say you ladies?
I say I'm in.
I'm in too.
That sounds
okay.
Good. We just have to figure out logistics. So like, how would we implement it?
How would we do this? Unless it's just we're checking in with we are checking in with one another to say I done did what I did.
Yeah, I done did it. It'd be done.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm cool with that. What do you have?
I know.
Christy's big idea. Sorry. Babysitter's Club. Like all I saw was the team. For those who don't know Babysitter's Club, we always say that Erin is like Christy. If you read the book, she's the one who came up with the idea for Real WW Talk. And she had the same look that she had when she came up with the idea for this podcast. So. Go ahead, Christy. Tell us what you're thinking.
Okay. Here's what we can do, because inside of the WW app, there's the activity section that keeps track. And so you guys all have your Apple Watches hooked up, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So what if at the end of the week, we just send each other a screenshot of our activity within the app, because you can't fold the app in that way.
All right. That sounds good.
That'll
help with regular tracking too, because if you don't open your app and you actually like worked out, it may not sync for like Monday if it's Saturday and you haven't opened your app in 4 days.
Right. Listen, that's not gonna be a problem with me because I'm on a tracking streak. So I'm good.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. All right. I love that for us. Candace, you also mentioned the step bet. Somebody did mention within the Real WW Talk Facebook group, they'd love to do a step bet. I just want to put it out there that Candace is looking into it for us.
Looking into it, guys. We should have some answers real soon. You know I'm on it. So
real soon. So keep your eyes in the group. And if you don't know what a step bet is, Google it. It's the greatest thing. We love it. It's a way that you can earn money while being accountable to walking, and you just need a Fitbit or some type of a fitness tracker, but it's awesome. So,
and I'm never ever excited to take people's money. So the whole point is to just for everybody to hit their goals. But if you don't, I will take whatever part of the pot I get from you not hitting your goals, but you're going to hit your goals. It's always a good time. That's why people ask us for it, because it's a way to stay accountable to if walking is one of the things that you do, or just getting steps. It's a great way to do that. So it is.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. We hope that you have a really great week. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube. Of course, we've got the podcast, our Facebook group. You can find us on all of the things. We're like that. Just search Real WW Talk, and we'll see you next time. Bye.